packed. It feels like the first day of school. Packed for the first day. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do an old school what's in my bag. Last week I did a what's in my makeup bag and I really enjoyed that. But today I'm going to show you what's in my work bag. And I have been work from home pretty much full time since 2020, like occasionally going in for meetings in person, but not like regularly once a week going into the office. 2024, they want everyone in the office on a Friday, which makes total sense to me. It's our busiest day. Hopefully it means that people will kind of pitch in and we'll all finish off earlier. That is the hope, so I'm totally cool with it. It also will switch up my routine a little bit. If you have followed me throughout at least the last year, you'll know I'm just kind of like, I stay in the house all the time, and I'd kind of convinced myself that that was, I prefer this is what I want, but it kind of breeds this almost fear of changing your routine, fear of having to leave the house. And
hello, it's me from the future, and I'm editing this and realising this is less of a what's in my bag and more of a therapy session. It's more me talking myself around to going back to work and just taking you along with me. So it's going to take like 5 minutes before I even start talking about what is in the bag. Just bear with me. If you are a work from home person who is going back into the office, you might like this, but if you want to see what's actually in the bag, you might want to skip ahead a little.
Welcoming the mandatory days in the office, and I'm hoping that it's going to have a positive impact for me. So I thought I would do a little series on like returning to the office, and we're going to start with what's in my work bag. I did just get a new bag, which I'll show you in a second, but I want to show you what I was using before, because every time I mentioned this or showed it, I got comments or questions. And it's actually a nappy bag. It's a baby bag. I think it was from Tesco originally, but this is just like a padded, I'm sure this probably, oh, it's like a chiller section. Do you know what? I never used that. I should have. This would have been great for food. Nappy bags as work bags. And it's served me well. It has done its job. I will probably still use it for travel and stuff. It's a really useful little bag. But since I'm going to be going into the office once a week, I kind of wanted a nicer bag. Like, I don't go out to carry bags very often anymore, and the bags that I do have don't really fit my laptop and all the stuff I need for work. The one like tote bag that I do have, I lent to my daughter when she started working, and I felt like I couldn't ask for a bag just for once a week because she's in the office 5 days. So I was looking for a different kind of bag. I wanted like just kind of a more formal, structured bag that when I put it on the side, it doesn't fall over like that one does. And it's, you know, nice to carry. And I got an email from Teddy Blake. I don't know if you've heard of them before. I think maybe they sent me a bag, I want to say like 10 years ago. Oh my God, this is so heavy. But I got an email from them asking if I'd like to review a bag. And I was like, yeah, perfect timing. So their bags they're still luxury leather bags, but they're not kind of the same. They're not cheap bags by any means, but they're not the same kind of prices that you would be paying for designer bags. So I'll link them below. I'll link exactly the one that I've got. I love this colour so much. It's a really nice pebbled leather. It feels really nice quality. When I opened the bag, even Lee was talking about how amazing the smell was. I chose this bag. I looked at the measurements and I thought it would be fine. It isn't really big enough for what I wanted. So I've got another bag, like a little kind of canvas tote bag that I intended to have as like throw in my food and stuff like that in, which we'll get to at the end of this video because this is the first day of me actually using it. First day of me actually going back to the office. I'm filming this early in the morning before I go. So this is really, really super stuffed. It is the 13-inch, and I think probably I should have chosen one of the styles that was 15-inch because I do have a lot of stuff that I want to take into the office. And this is pared down from what I was taking before in that enormous baby bag.
This isn't even all of it because some of it's just like, this is going to go immediately in the bin. Gross. This is probably, we don't need, but I like to have whenever I leave the house for any length of time. And this is, I mean, I always had stuff like this when I travelled, but this is a post lockdown thing. I feel more comfortable. I mean, I don't feel comfortable leaving the house for long periods of time, which is crazy. And that's another reason that I am welcoming having to go to the office once a week, because I really want to like rid myself of that strange feeling of dread when I'm out of my house for too long. And so something that makes me feel more comfortable is having things. My husband always says, wherever we go anywhere, I surround myself with my things. Like on the aeroplane, he's like, do you want me to put anything? I'm like, no, my things are with me. Even when we're in the car, I have like my bags in the footwell. I've got no legroom, but these are my things. I have my things, I know I can access them. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But this is like my little comfort bag of things for just in case. It's every kind of medication I, or anyone else who says, has anyone got this, might possibly want. From strepsils to, I've even got a Clorox wipe in there. I've got things for indigestion. I've got eye drops. I've got floss. I've got painkillers. I've actually got some antidepressants in here. Perhaps won't be handing those out. Just all kinds of things, even hand cream, plasters, anything I could possibly need. This is the same bag that I would put in my carry-on if we were going to go on holiday. And I have that in my work bag. You just, how many times have you been in the office and someone's like, has anyone got? I am that person. Maybe it's because I want people to like me. I've got my wallet, which has got all my regular stuff, and then my key card to get into work. I have a rail atlas because that's what I do as a job. I plan trains. It's a thrill. I've got my AirPods. Could not be without. I actually just got this cute little case from Kate Spade. It was super sale. I think I paid something like £13 for it, which I feel like they're £50 full price, which is insane. But it was a really, really good price that I paid. I put these little decals on that I did on my Cricut ages ago, and I need to take them off because when I put them in this case, now they look weird because it says I Heart NY and you can see through it. So I'll do that at some point. I have a mouse, which is not the same mouse that I have plugged into my regular desk setup. This is a spare mouse that lives in my work bag. I also have a spare keyboard that lives in my work bag, and this is really compact. Now, what I would quite like is a keyboard like this that is more compact, one that's got like the number pad, because that's really useful for my job specifically. There's a lot of times that I'm inputting and it's annoying to do that on the other keyboard. In fact, I might see if this fits in that bag that I was talking about, because it absolutely does not fit in this bag. But I did buy this keyboard specifically as like a travel keyboard, if you will. I also think that I can get a locker at work, which I might ask for. It seems crazy for once a week because some people work in the office all the time and no one's allowed to leave things on their desk anymore. It's another world. We haven't got a canteen. Everything feels weird. And so again, I just like to have my like comfort things around me, but it might be interesting to do this in another 6 months and see how different things are. And then I've got my laptop, which does fit nicely in here. I think when I was doing my calculations for the size of the bag, I was just worried about whether or not the laptop would fit and not really considering everything that I take. But the laptop does fit really nicely in there. I've got my Filofax. This is perhaps something I don't need to take to work, but it's got my calendar in there, and then I use it as my notes as well. And it's useful because I'm like back and forth. It's useful to be able to go back and read notes of something that I was doing. If I write it on a piece of paper, that piece of paper is lost into the ether and I'll never see it again. Whereas if I put it in here, I know it's safe. But again, in 6 months' time, maybe I won't be taking the Filofax every day. And then the last thing, which is another kind of annoying thing that I have to take given that I'm going to be in person, is my headset, which is in case we have any Teams meetings, someone's not there, I can speak to them without being super obnoxious and just speaking out loud in an open plan office. I did used to also take things like tea bags and tissues, stuff like that. That feels like I don't necessarily need to take. And like I said before, I'm going to have my snacks and my food things in the bag that I'm going to show you in a second. But I feel like that's a reasonable amount of stuff. I'm a bit of a pack rat. I do tend to take a lot of stuff. I've also just seen something else that I used to keep in my work bag that I'm not taking because, but I want to show you, I'm not taking this because we've all got like a dock and 2 screens now. We need 2 screens to do our job. And so we used to have 1 screen, a dock, and you'd have your laptop. And I bought this from Amazon, which is super useful. And it is just basically like a little prop up thing for your laptop, but it folds, it's collapsible. That's really, really handy. If I can remember, I'll link it for you. Chances are you'll have to ask me. But I don't need to take that because that's not necessary anymore. Maybe most of this isn't. So this is the bag that I was talking about, the kind of like canvas tote that I'm going to have as my throw in the other stuff. And in here I have, I know, a Stanley Cup. Could I be more generic of a person? No, but
obviously empty, and I don't want to throw that in. I mean, I couldn't throw that in the bag, but I don't want to throw that in with like my electronics and stuff anyway, so I was always going to take another bag for that kind of thing. I've got some crisps, I've got some sandwiches that I made for myself. I have, this is amazing. If you haven't tried these before, I love the biscuits anyway, but these are like perfect for taking outside of the house, and a granola yogurt, which will be my breakfast this morning. So all of that goes in there. I also have a coffee that I made myself, which has another decal on there that I made for my husband, if you know the reference. Let's see, will this keyboard fit in all the bag? It will. Okay, so I could throw that keyboard in there. And then that's one less thing in the other bag, and also a more comfortable keyboarding experience for me. I also need to take another bag because someone bought one of my candles and I need to take that to work for them. So that is me done, packed. It feels like the first day of school, packed for the first day. Also, I think I want this shorter. Can it be shorter? I think it can. So yeah, that is what is in my work bag. Zzz. I'm excited, I'm nervous. And I apologise for the lighting, but it's still dark outside, so I'll see you in the next one.